Hi, my name is Emily Carter. I'm 22 years old, and I live in New York, United States. I'm currently a college student majoring in business administration. Growing up, English was never my strongest subject, even though I lived in an English-speaking country. My parents are originally from Mexico, and at home, we mostly spoke Spanish. While I could understand English, speaking fluently was always a challenge for me. I would hesitate, struggle to find the right words, and sometimes even avoid conversations because I was afraid of making mistakes. I knew that to succeed in college and later in my career, I had to improve my spoken English. I tried traditional methods like reading books, watching English movies, and even attending language classes, but nothing seemed to help me gain the confidence I needed. Everything changed when I discovered the power of social media. Social media became my personal English teacher, my practice space, and my confidence booster. Let me take you through my journey, how I transformed from a shy, hesitant speaker to someone who can confidently express herself in English, all thanks to social media. The struggle of speaking English growing up in a bilingual home had its advantages, but it also had some challenges. At school, I could understand what the teachers were saying, but whenever I had to speak in class, my heart would race. I remember one incident in high school when my English teacher asked me to present a small speech in front of the class. I had prepared well, but as soon as I stood in front of my classmates, my mind went blank. I started stuttering, mispronounced words, and ended up rushing through my speech just to get it over with. I felt humiliated. After that experience, I became even more self-conscious. I avoided participating in class discussions. I would pretend not to know answers, just so I wouldn't have to speak. And even when my friends spoke English, I preferred to respond in Spanish. When I entered college, I realized I couldn't avoid English anymore. Most of my professors expected students to actively participate in discussions, and I couldn't escape it. That's when I knew I had to do something about my problem. Discovering social media for learning one evening, while scrolling through Instagram, I came across a video of a girl who shared her journey of learning English through social media. She talked about how she practiced daily by watching YouTube videos, engaging in online conversations, and even recording herself speaking. It fascinated me. I had always used social media for entertainment, but I had never thought of it as a learning tool. That night, I made a decision. If social media could help others, maybe it could help me too. I started exploring different platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and even Reddit, to see how I could use them to improve my English. Using YouTube to improve listening and pronunciation, the first thing I focused on was listening and pronunciation. I subscribed to YouTube channels that taught English in a fun and engaging way. Channels like English Addict with Mr. Steve, BBC Learning English, and Speak English with Vanessa became my go-to sources. I started watching videos daily, but instead of just passively listening, I made sure to repeat words and phrases out loud. If I didn't understand a word, I would pause the video, look it up, and write it in my notebook. One technique that really helped me was shadowing, listening to a native speaker and immediately repeating what they said. At first, it was difficult, but with practice, I noticed my pronunciation improving. TikTok and Instagram for real-life conversations. Next, I turned to TikTok and Instagram. I followed pages where people shared short English lessons, common phrases, and even slang expressions. These short videos were easy to consume, and they helped me learn how people actually spoke in real life. I also started commenting on posts in English. At first, I was scared that people would judge my grammar mistakes, but I quickly realized that most people were encouraging. Whenever I made a mistake, someone would correct me kindly, and I learned from it. Then I did something even scarier. I started making my own videos. I recorded myself speaking in English, talking about random topics, and posted them on my private Instagram account. Watching myself speak made me aware of my pronunciation, body language, and confidence level. It was embarrassing at first, but over time, I improved. Joining online English communities, one of the biggest game changers for me was joining online English speaking communities. On Reddit, I found a subreddit called r/English Learning, where people from around the world shared their experiences and asked for advice. I started participating in discussions, writing comments, and even posting my own questions. I also joined Facebook groups for English learners. One of the best groups I joined was called English Speaking Practice. Members would post daily speaking challenges, and I would record myself responding to them. It felt like a supportive community where everyone was learning together. Practicing through voice chats and live streams. One day, I discovered a language exchange app called HelloTalk, where you can chat with native speakers. I started texting people, but I knew if I wanted to improve my speaking, I had to talk. So I gathered my courage and started voice messaging. At first, I was nervous, but I soon realized that people were patient and understanding. I made friends with a girl from Texas named Samantha, who helped me correct my mistakes naturally during our conversations. We would send each other voice messages daily, and it felt like a fun way to practice without pressure. Another thing that helped me was joining live streams on Instagram and TikTok, where influencers would invite followers to join and talk in English. The first time I joined, I was shaking with nervousness, but after a few tries, I started feeling more confident, realizing my progress and gaining confidence. After 6 months of consistent practice using social media, I noticed a huge difference. I no longer hesitated before speaking. My pronunciation improved, and I could say words I previously struggled with. I could hold conversations without switching back to Spanish when I got stuck. My confidence in social situations increased. One day in college, my professor asked a question, and without thinking, I raised my hand and answered fluently. After class, one of my classmates, Jason, told me, "Wow, Emily, your English has improved so much." That was the moment I realized that my efforts had paid off. Even though I now speak English fluently, I haven't stopped learning. Social media is still a big part of my daily practice because language learning is a lifelong journey. There's always something new to learn: new expressions, slang, cultural references, and even different accents. One of my biggest goals was to sound more natural and confident, like a native speaker. I didn't just want to be fluent. I wanted to express myself without hesitation and with the right tone and rhythm. Social media helped me with this in ways I never imagined. Expanding my vocabulary with Twitter, X, and Instagram, I started using Twitter, X, and Instagram differently. Instead of just scrolling through random posts, I began following English-speaking influencers, writers, and even comedians. Their posts exposed me to natural, everyday English, including phrases and slang that people actually use in conversations. One of my favorite things to do is write comments on posts. Whether it's a celebrity's tweet, a motivational quote, or a funny meme, I always challenge myself to comment in English. This helps me think quickly in English and practice forming sentences without overthinking. I also started keeping a vocabulary list. Whenever I came across a new word or phrase, I would write it down in a notebook, look up its meaning and pronunciation using online dictionaries, create my own sentence using the word to make sure I understood how to use it. For example, one day, I saw someone on Instagram use the phrase, "That movie was a total letdown." I had never heard letdown used in that way before. After looking it up, I learned that it meant disappointing. From that day on, I started using it in my conversations whenever I wanted to express disappointment. Refining my accent with podcasts and audiobooks. Even though my English was fluent, I still had a slight Spanish accent. I didn't mind it. It's part of my identity. But I wanted to sound clearer and more polished. That's when I started listening to podcasts and audiobooks daily. One of my favorite podcasts was the American English Podcast. It focused on pronunciation, idioms, and real-life conversations. I would listen to an episode, then repeat the sentences out loud, mimicking the speaker's tone and rhythm. Audiobooks were also a game changer. Instead of just reading books in English, I listened to them while reading along. This helped me improve my pronunciation by hearing words spoken correctly, learn how to use intonation, when to raise or lower my voice, absorb natural sentence structures without memorizing grammar rules. One book that really helped me was Atomic Habits by James Clear. The narrator spoke clearly and naturally, making it a perfect book to practice with. Speaking practice with AI and language apps. As technology improved, I started using AI-powered language apps to practice speaking. Apps like Elsa Speak and Speechling allowed me to record my voice, and I would analyze my pronunciation, fluency, and even suggest improvements. Another tool I loved was ChatGPT and AI chatbots. I would type out conversations, ask for corrections, and even practice simulated real-life dialogues. It felt like talking to a real person without any fear of judgment. For example, I once asked, "Can you pretend to be a barista at a coffee shop and take my order?" The AI responded like a real barista, and I practiced ordering in English. This prepared me for real conversations in daily life, making English a part of my daily life. The biggest lesson I learned is that fluency doesn't come from just studying. It comes from living the language. Social media helped me make English a natural part of my daily routine in fun and engaging ways. I set my phone and apps to English so I would always read in English. I watched TV shows with English subtitles, then rewatched them without subtitles. I wrote daily journal entries in English to practice expressing my thoughts. I made international friends online who only spoke English, forcing me to communicate naturally. I also challenged myself with the English-only rule. For 1 hour a day, I would only speak, think, and write in English. It felt difficult at first, but over time, it became second nature. The biggest confidence test. A job interview in English, one of the most important moments in my journey, came when I had to interview for an internship at a well-known company in New York. The entire interview was in English, and 2 years ago, I would have been terrified. But this time, I was prepared. Thanks to all my practice, I could answer questions smoothly without long pauses, use professional vocabulary instead of simple words, sound confident and natural instead of nervous. At the end of the interview, the manager, Mr. Anderson, smiled and said, "Emily, your communication skills are excellent. I can tell you're confident in expressing yourself." I walked out of that office feeling proud and accomplished. A few days later, I got an email saying I got the internship. That moment proved to me that social media wasn't just a fun way to learn. It had given me the skills I needed for real-life success. How social media still helps me improve every day. Even though I can now speak English fluently, my journey hasn't stopped. Language learning never really ends. It's something you have to keep practicing, refining, and improving. Social media continues to be my daily English teacher, and I've discovered even more ways to use it effectively. At this stage, my goal is not just fluency, but sounding more natural, expanding my vocabulary, and keeping up with new trends and expressions. Let me share how I continue improving every day. 1. Learning advanced expressions from social media. Now that I'm fluent, I focus on learning phrasal verbs, idioms, and native expressions that make my English sound more natural. Social media is a great place for this because native speakers use casual, real-life language in their posts. For example, on Twitter, X, and Instagram, I follow accounts that teach modern English phrases. Here are some examples I learned recently. Hit the books means to study hard. Example, I have an exam tomorrow, so I need to hit the books tonight. Burning the midnight oil means working late at night. I've been burning the midnight oil to finish this project. Go the extra mile means making extra effort. She always goes the extra mile to help her coworkers. Whenever I come across a new phrase, I write it down in my digital notebook and try to use it in my daily conversations. 2. Keeping up with English slang and trends. One of the best things about learning English through social media is that I get to keep up with slang, memes, and modern expressions that are commonly used in conversations. For example, recently, I noticed people commenting, "That's a vibe," on Instagram. At first, I didn't understand what it meant, but after seeing it used multiple times, I realized that vibe means a good feeling or atmosphere. Now, when my friends say something cool, I naturally respond with, "That's a vibe." This makes my English sound much more natural. Apps like TikTok and YouTube Shorts help me stay updated on how young people in the US speak today. Language is always evolving, so it's important to learn how real people talk in different situations. 3. Practicing speaking with online communities. Even though I no longer struggle with speaking, I still practice daily to maintain my fluency. One of my favorite ways to practice is by joining online speaking communities. On Reddit, I participate in English learning groups where people share experiences, ask for advice, and practice conversations. On Discord, I've joined a group where people practice English through voice calls. We discuss different topics every week, such as travel, culture, and personal experiences. On Clubhouse, I sometimes join conversations with native speakers to listen and participate in real discussions. These communities help me stay engaged, make new friends, and continue practicing English in a fun way. 4. Writing in English every day. One thing I've learned is that writing helps speaking. The more I write, the easier it becomes to express my thoughts clearly when I speak. That's why I started using Twitter, EX, and Facebook to write short posts in English every day. Sometimes I write about my thoughts, experiences, or even just something funny that happened during the day. For example, yesterday I posted, "I accidentally put salt in my coffee instead of sugar. It was a horrible experience, but at least I learned a lesson. Never make coffee when you're half asleep." By doing this, I practice thinking in English, forming sentences quickly, and improving my writing skills. 5. Watching English vlogs and podcasts. To keep my listening skills sharp, I watch English vlogs on YouTube and listen to podcasts every morning. One of my favorite YouTube vloggers is Emma from English with Emma, who explains common English mistakes and teaches natural ways to speak. I also love watching lifestyle vloggers from the US because they speak naturally and use real-life phrases. For podcasts, I listen to the American English Podcast, teaches pronunciation and cultural expressions. TED Talks Daily, inspires me while improving my listening. The Joe Rogan Experience, casual conversations with different guests. Listening to native speakers every day helps me stay connected with the language and improve my pronunciation naturally. 6. Helping others learn English. Now that I've gained confidence in my English skills, I love helping others who are on the same journey. I remember how hard it was in the beginning, and I want to support others who are struggling. I give advice on Reddit and Facebook groups to English learners. I comment on people's posts in English, encouraging them to practice. I help my younger cousin, who is also learning English, by practicing conversations with her. One day, I even dream of starting my own YouTube channel where I share my experiences and tips for learning English through social media. How learning English changed my life. Looking back, I never imagined that something as simple as using social media could change my life completely. But it did. Learning English didn't just help me speak fluently, it opened so many new doors for me. Let me share some of the biggest changes in my life since I became fluent in English. 1. New job and career opportunities. One of the biggest advantages of learning English was the career opportunities it gave me. Before, I always felt limited in my job choices because most high-paying jobs in the U.S. require strong communication skills. But once I became confident in speaking English, I applied for a part-time job at a local tech company as a customer service assistant. In the interview, I spoke English confidently, answered all the questions smoothly, and even made small talk with the interviewer. I got the job. I remember how nervous I used to feel about speaking English, but now I can talk to customers from different states without any fear. This job has helped me improve even more because I talk in English every day and learn new professional terms. Now, I'm even thinking about applying for remote jobs where I can work with international clients. English has truly expanded my career options. 2. Making new friends from different cultures. Before learning English, I always felt shy when meeting new people. I avoided conversations with English speakers because I was afraid of making mistakes. But now, I feel confident and excited to talk to people from different backgrounds. One of the most beautiful things about speaking English fluently is that it connects me with the world. I have made friends from the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, India, the Philippines, and many more countries. For example, I met Lisa from New York in an online English learning group. We started talking, and now we are best friends. We chat every day, share our cultures, and even have virtual coffee dates over Zoom. Because of English, I now have a global network of friends, something I never thought was possible before. 3. Traveling with confidence. Another dream that became possible because of English is traveling without fear. A few months ago, I visited California with my family. Before learning English, I would have relied on someone else to speak for me. But this time, I confidently asked for directions when we got lost, ordered food at restaurants without hesitation, had fun conversations with locals at the beach. I felt so free. No more fear, no more awkward silences. Just pure excitement to explore new places and meet new people. Now I dream of traveling outside the U.S., maybe to Europe or Asia, because I know that English will help me communicate anywhere in the world. 4. Helping others learn English. Since English changed my life, I want to help others too. I remember how hard it was in the beginning, and I know so many people are still struggling with the same fears I had. So, I started helping my younger cousin practice English, joining Facebook groups where I give tips to learners, writing posts on Reddit about my English learning journey, commenting on YouTube videos to motivate other learners. One day, I even dream of starting my own YouTube channel where I teach people how to learn English using social media, just like I did. A new version of myself. The biggest change that happened after learning English wasn't just about career, friends, or travel. It was about who I became as a person. Before, I was shy and afraid to speak, worried about making mistakes, missing out on opportunities. Now I am checkmark confident in conversations, excited to meet new people, open to endless opportunities. Learning English transformed me into a more confident, open-minded, and adventurous person. I feel like I have a whole new world in front of me, filled with opportunities I never imagined before. Helping others learn English. A special moment. One of the most emotional moments in my journey happened a few weeks ago when my younger cousin, Sophia, came to me with tears in her eyes. "Emily, I don't think I can ever speak English fluently," she said, frustrated. "I understand words, but when I try to speak, I freeze." Her words hit me hard because I saw my old self in her. I knew exactly how she felt: the fear, the frustration, the feeling of being stuck. I took her hand and said, "Sophia, I used to feel the same way. But trust me, if I can do it, you can too." That night, I sat with her and showed her all the methods I used: speaking in front of a mirror to boost confidence, using social media to chat with native speakers, watching YouTube videos and repeating sentences aloud, writing daily thoughts in English and reading them out loud. She looked at me, surprised. "Wait, that's how you learned?" "Yes." "And it worked," I smiled. For the next few weeks, I mentored her, just like I once learned from others. Every night, we practiced together. I saw her confidence grow, and the best moment came when she spoke in English to a customer at her part-time job for the first time. She ran home and hugged me. "Emily, I did it!" I spoke in English without getting nervous. At that moment, I realized something. This is what I want to do. I want to help people gain confidence in speaking English. My future goals. A dream taking shape. After seeing how much English changed my life, I started thinking about my future. What if I could turn my journey into a way to help others? So, I wrote down my goals. Start a YouTube channel sharing my tips and experiences. Create an Instagram page to motivate English learners. Join an online community where I can mentor people. Maybe even write a book someday about my journey. I realized that English didn't just help me communicate, it gave me a purpose. Now, when I wake up in the morning, I don't just think about my own progress. I think about helping others overcome their fears, just like I did. A deeper reflection. How English changed my relationships learning English didn't just change my career and travel experiences, it changed my relationships too. With my family. Before, I always spoke my native language at home, but now my younger siblings are excited to practice English with me. It feels amazing to set an example for them. With my professors. Before, I was too scared to ask questions in class. I stayed quiet, even when I didn't understand something. But now, I confidently speak up and even participate in discussions. With my friends. I used to avoid English-speaking friends because I was afraid they would judge me. I applied for a position as a customer support specialist in a tech company in Los Angeles. The job required strong communication skills because I would be helping customers from different countries. I remember the job interview like it was yesterday. The interviewer, Mr. Johnson, smiled at me and asked, "Emily, can you tell me a little about yourself?" A few years ago, I would have panicked. But now, I smiled back and spoke confidently. "Yes, my name is Emily, and I am passionate about communication and problem solving. I love helping people, and I believe my experience in customer service and my fluency in English make me a great fit for this role." The interview went amazingly well. I answered every question clearly, used professional language, and even made small jokes to connect with the interviewer. 2 days later, I got an email. "Congratulations, Emily. You got the job. Thriving in the workplace, using English every day. Working in a professional environment was a new challenge, but because of my strong English skills, I adapted quickly. Every day, I talked to clients from different countries, sent professional emails and reports, participated in meetings and shared ideas, helped my colleagues with their English. One of the best moments was when my manager, Sarah, told me, "Emily, you have excellent communication skills. Have you ever thought about leading a team?" That moment made me realize something. English wasn't just helping me survive in my job, it was helping me grow. I got promoted to team leader within a year. But something inside me wanted even more. I didn't just want to work for someone else. I wanted to build something of my own. Starting my own business, social media changed everything. Even though I had a great job, I always had a dream to start my own online business, but I didn't know where to start. Then I remembered something important. Social media helped me learn English, so why not use it to start a business? I had always loved teaching and helping others. So I decided to create an Instagram page and a YouTube channel called English with Emily. At first, I was nervous. Would anyone watch my videos? Would anyone care? But I reminded myself, if I don't try, I'll never know. So I started posting pin short English tips on Instagram, YouTube videos on how to improve spoken English, live sessions where I answered questions from English learners. At first, I only had 10 followers, then 50, then 100, and then one of my videos went viral. Over 50,000 people watched my video on how to speak English fluently with confidence. That's when I knew, this is what I want to do, monetizing my passion, turning social media into a business. As my online presence grew, opportunities started coming to me. I started getting brand deals. Companies wanted to pay me to promote their English learning apps. I created my own online course teaching people how to improve their spoken English. I got invited to podcasts to talk about my journey. I started one-on-one coaching for students who wanted personal guidance. In just 1 year, my social media business started making more money than my full-time job. I was helping thousands of people while also making a living. Finally, I made the biggest decision of my life. I quit my job to focus on my business full-time. Now, I wake up every morning excited because I get to teach English to thousands of people around the world, create content that inspires and motivates learners, run my own business on my own terms. How English and social media changed my life. If I look back at my journey, I see a girl who once struggled to speak English, a girl who was afraid of making mistakes, a girl who thought she would never be fluent. But today, I am a confident entrepreneur, speaker, and online educator. Social media didn't just help me learn English, it helped me build a career, a business, and a life I love. Expanding my business, reaching more people worldwide. After quitting my job to focus on my social media business, I had a new goal: to expand my reach and help millions of people learn English. I started thinking, how can I make my brand even bigger? That's when I decided to take 3 major steps. Launching a website. I created a professional website, EnglishWithEmily.com, where I offered free resources, blog posts, and a place for students to sign up for my courses. Building an online community. I started a Facebook group called Fluent English Speakers Worldwide, where learners could practice speaking with each other. Collaborating with other influencers. I reached out to famous YouTubers and English teachers to collaborate on videos, podcasts, and Instagram live sessions. Within just 6 months, my online presence exploded. 500,000 followers on Instagram, 300,000 subscribers on YouTube, thousands of students enrolling in my courses. The best part? People from all over the world were sending me messages like, "Emily, your videos helped me get a job. I used to be scared of speaking, but now I can talk fluently. Because of you, I finally feel confident in English." That's when I knew. This was bigger than me. I wasn't just teaching English, I was changing lives. Taking my business global, traveling and speaking at events. As my brand grew, companies and organizations started noticing me. I began getting invitations to speak at international conferences and events. One day, I received an email from a global language learning company. "Dear Emily, we love your work in the English learning community. We would love to invite you to speak at our international conference in London." London! I couldn't believe it. A few years ago, I couldn't even speak English fluently. Now, I was being invited to speak on stage in front of thousands of people. I said yes. The conference was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. I shared my journey, gave tips on learning English through social media, and even met some of my online followers in person. From that moment on, I started traveling to different countries. London, spoke at a conference on language learning. Dubai, held a workshop on how to use Instagram for learning English. New York, appeared on a podcast with a famous English coach. Tokyo, launched my first in-person English-speaking boot camp. Traveling the world while teaching English felt like a dream come true. Expanding my business, creating more income streams. As my brand grew, I realized I could create multiple ways to earn income while still doing what I love. Here's how I turned my passion into a full-time, profitable business. Online courses. I created courses for different levels: beginner, intermediate, and advanced English learners. Ebooks. I wrote a book called Speak English Fluently with Confidence. Podcast. I started a podcast, The English Success Show, where I interviewed English learners and teachers. Merchandise. I even started selling t-shirts, mugs, and notebooks with motivational quotes like, "Speak with confidence." With all these income streams, I was now earning 6 figures a year doing something I loved. Giving back, helping others like me. After achieving success, I felt a deep responsibility to give back. I remembered how I once struggled to afford English courses and how much I relied on free resources. So, I started a scholarship program for students who couldn't afford to pay for courses. Every month, I sponsored 10 students and gave them full access to my premium programs for free. Seeing these students improve their English was the most rewarding thing ever. One student, Maria from Brazil, sent me a message. "Emily, because of your scholarship, I got a job in an international company. You changed my life." At that moment, I knew, this is my true purpose. Looking ahead, my future goals. Even after all my success, I still have big dreams for the future. Opening a physical English learning center, a real-life school where students can come and practice English in a fun and interactive way. Writing a best-selling book, a book about my journey and how anyone can learn English through social media. Expanding my team, hiring other English teachers to reach even more students worldwide. Hosting a global English conference, bringing together English learners and teachers from around the world for a massive event. Expanding my reach even further. After years of working hard and building my business, I realized something very important. The world is always changing, and if I want to stay successful, I need to keep evolving too. Social media was my foundation, but now I wanted to go beyond just teaching English. I wanted to inspire people to change their lives. That's when I decided to take even bigger steps. 1. Public speaking. From social media to the stage. At first, I was comfortable teaching online, but now I wanted to step outside my comfort zone and start speaking in front of real audiences. I got my first opportunity when a university in California invited me to give a talk about how social media can be used to learn English. I was nervous, really nervous. I had spent so much time behind a screen that standing in front of a live audience felt terrifying. But then, I reminded myself of something. Years ago, I was scared to even say one sentence in English. Now, I was standing in front of hundreds of students, speaking with confidence. That thought gave me the courage to step onto the stage. I shared my story, gave tips on how students could use YouTube, Instagram, and podcasts to improve their English, and even answered questions from the audience. By the time I finished, something amazing happened. The entire auditorium gave me a standing ovation. It was a moment I will never forget. From that day on, I started getting invitations to speak at more events across the U.S. and even in other countries. I spoke at universities in Los Angeles, New York, and Miami, international conferences in Canada, Singapore, and Australia, corporate events where companies wanted me to train their employees on how to improve their English for business. Each event helped me grow not only as an entrepreneur, but as a person. Now, I wasn't just helping people online, I was meeting them in real life, hearing their stories, and making a real impact. 2. Creating my own English Academy. As my following grew, I started getting thousands of messages every day from people who wanted to improve their English. Many of them were asking, "Do you offer personal coaching? Can you create a structured program for us? I love your free lessons, but I want something more advanced." That's when I had a new idea. What if I could create an official online academy where students could learn English step by step, from beginner to advanced, with structured lessons and live practice sessions? So, I spent months working on it. I hired professional teachers to help me create the best courses. I built a team to manage the website and answer students' questions. I designed a complete learning system with videos, exercises, live classes, and speaking practice groups. Finally, after a year of hard work, I launched my own online English academy, the English Fluency Academy. It was a huge success. Within the first 6 months, over 10,000 students enrolled. Companies started buying my courses to train their employees. I received messages from students telling me how my academy changed their lives. Seeing my students gain confidence, get jobs, and finally speak English fluently was the greatest reward I could ever ask for. 3. Becoming a business coach, helping others start their online careers. Once my business was stable, I started receiving a different kind of message. People were asking me, "Emily, how did you turn your social media page into a business? How can I start my own online career? I want to be an English teacher like you. How do I begin?" That's when I realized there are thousands of people who have skills but don't know how to build a business online. So I decided to do something new. I started offering business coaching to help others turn their passion into an online career. I taught them how to create a personal brand, use social media to grow an audience, monetize their content through courses, coaching, and digital products, overcome fear, and build confidence. Soon, I wasn't just helping people learn English, I was helping them change their entire lives by building online careers. I saw my students launch their own YouTube channels, start successful coaching businesses, become full-time content creators just like me. That's when I knew this was my true calling. 4. Investing in the future, giving back to the community. As I grew my business, I always remembered one thing. I wouldn't be here if people didn't help me when I was struggling. So, I made a promise to myself. Every year, I will donate a percentage of my earnings to help underprivileged students learn English for free. I started a scholarship fund and partnered with charities that provide free education to children. I also started offering free mentorship programs for young entrepreneurs who wanted to build online businesses but didn't know where to start. Today, I want to share my personal experience and practical tips on how social media played a huge role in helping me speak English fluently. Learning English is a challenge for many people, especially when they don't live in an English-speaking country or don't have a native speaker to practice with. But guess what? Social media became my teacher, my practice partner, and my motivation. If you use social media the right way, you can learn and improve your spoken English without even feeling like you're studying. In this guide, I'll explain step by step how social media helped me, what methods I used, and what you can do to improve your English fluency. Whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced learner, these tips will help you. So, let's dive deep into this journey of learning English through social media. Why social media is a powerful tool for learning English. Before I jump into specific tips, let me explain why social media is one of the best tools for learning English. Exposure to real-life English. Unlike textbooks, social media gives you real, everyday English that people actually use. You hear slang, idioms, and natural conversation styles. Interactive learning. You can engage with people, comment, like, and participate in discussions, which helps you practice writing and speaking. Free and accessible. You don't need to spend money on expensive courses. Everything is available for free, 24/7. Multiple learning formats. You can learn through videos, memes, posts, comments, reels, podcasts, live streams, and more. No pressure, fun learning. Social media makes learning enjoyable, and when you enjoy something, you learn faster. Now, let me share the exact methods and tricks that helped me achieve fluency. 1. Following English-speaking influencers and pages. One of the first things I did was follow English-speaking influencers, YouTubers, and pages that post in English. Every time I scrolled through my feed, I was exposed to English content. This helped me learn new words, expressions, and pronunciation. What to do? Follow influencers who speak clear, natural English. Follow Instagram pages like at BBC Learning English, at EngVid, at English with Lucy, etc. Subscribe to YouTube channels like English Addict with Mr. Steve, Speak English with Vanessa, or Rachel's English. Follow Twitter/X accounts that post English phrases, idioms, and vocabulary. Bonus tip: set your phone's default language to English. This forces you to read and understand English naturally. 2. Watching Reels, Shorts, and TikTok videos in English short-form video content on platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts is a goldmine for English learners. These videos are quick, engaging, and often include captions to help with comprehension. How it helped me? I learned how native speakers pronounce words and use expressions. I got familiar with accents and natural speed. I picked up slang and conversational phrases. What to do? Search for hashtags like say learn English, share English tips, share speak English fluently. Watch short English speaking videos daily and repeat what they say. Use captions to read along while listening. Engage with videos by commenting in English. Bonus tip: try the shadowing technique. Play a video, pause, repeat after the speaker, and copy their pronunciation and tone. 3. Joining Facebook and WhatsApp English learning groups. Social media groups are great for practicing English with real people. I joined several Facebook and WhatsApp groups where people shared learning tips and engaged in discussions. How it helped me? I got daily motivation and learning materials. I practiced writing comments and responses in English. I met people from different countries and exchanged language skills. What to do? Search for English learning groups on Facebook and request to join. Join WhatsApp or Telegram groups focused on English conversation. Participate in discussions by asking and answering questions. Bonus tip: post one short message in English every day. Even a simple "Good morning. Today, I learned a new English word. Fascinating," will keep you engaged. 4. Using Reddit and Quora to ask and answer questions. Reddit and Quora are fantastic platforms where people ask and answer questions. I use these platforms to practice writing in English and understand how native speakers express themselves. How it helped me. I read well-written answers, which improved my sentence structure. I practiced writing answers in English. I learned real conversational English from discussions. What to do? Follow subreddits like r/English Learning, r/Ask an American, r/No Stupid Questions. Follow English-related topics on Quora and read answers from native speakers. Try writing your own answers in English to improve your writing skills. Bonus tip: don't just read. Actively comment and interact with posts in English. Engaging in Twitter, X. Conversations. Twitter is a great platform for learning short, to-the-point English. Many English teachers and learners engage in conversations there. What to do? Follow English learning accounts like at Merriam-Webster, at English Tips, at BBC World. Reply to tweets in English, even if it's a short sentence. Participate in Twitter polls and discussions in English. Bonus tip: try writing one tweet in English every day. It can be about your day, a thought, or a question for others. 6. Watching live streams and engaging in comments. Live videos on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook are great ways to practice real-time interaction. Many English teachers go live and answer questions from viewers. What to do? Join live sessions of English teachers and ask questions in the chat. Participate in discussions with other viewers in English. Take notes on new words and phrases used by the speaker. Bonus tip: some teachers allow live speaking interactions. Don't be shy. Participate. 7. Using AI chatbots and voice assistants for practice. Social media and technology have advanced so much that you can now chat with AI assistants in English. I used AI chatbots like ChatGPT, Google Assistant, and Duolingo to practice speaking. What to do? Talk to AI chatbots and practice conversations. Use voice-to-text features on Google to practice pronunciation. Play English quizzes with AI assistants. Bonus tip: record yourself speaking and compare it to AI-generated correct pronunciation. Creating your own English content on social media. One of the biggest game changers for me was creating my own English content. I started by posting English captions, then making short videos where I spoke in English. What to do? Write short captions in English when you post on Instagram or Facebook. Try recording a short video in English and posting it. Make TikToks or Reels practicing English sentences. Bonus tip: don't be afraid of making mistakes. The more you speak, the better you get. Using Instagram stories and voice messages to practice speaking. One of the biggest challenges in learning English is speaking. Many learners feel shy or lack confidence, but social media offers a simple and effective solution: Instagram stories and voice messages. How it helped me. I started posting short Instagram stories where I spoke in English about my day. I sent voice messages to my friends and language partners to practice conversation. It helped me overcome my fear of speaking in English. What to do? Post a short Instagram story, even if it's just a few sentences, in English. Example: hey guys, today I learned a new word. Determined. It means someone who doesn't give up. Use WhatsApp, Messenger, or Telegram to send voice messages in English to your friends. Find a language partner on apps like HelloTalk or Tandem and exchange voice messages. Bonus tip: start with small steps. Even a 10-second voice message is great practice. Over time, your confidence will grow. 10. Writing English captions for your social media posts. Writing is a crucial part of fluency, and one way to practice daily is by writing your social media captions in English. How it helped me. It made me think in English when posting on Facebook or Instagram. It improved my sentence structure and vocabulary. It helped me express my thoughts clearly. What to do? Whenever you post a picture, write a short caption in English. Example: enjoying a beautiful sunset today. Nature is amazing. If you're not sure about grammar, use a tool like Grammarly to check your writing. Read captions from native English speakers and learn how they express themselves. Bonus tip: try writing a longer post once a week, like sharing an experience or a thought in English. 11. Engaging in online debates and discussions. Another great way to improve fluency is by debating or discussing topics in English. Many Facebook groups, Reddit communities, and Twitter threads allow you to join discussions. How it helped me: I learned how to express my opinions in English. I practiced forming arguments and responding to others. I discovered new perspectives and improved my reading comprehension. What to do? Join a Facebook group or Reddit community where people discuss various topics in English. Participate in the conversation by commenting on posts. Express your opinion and try to debate in a respectful way. Bonus tip: start with simple discussions like, "What's the best travel destination?" and gradually move to more complex topics. 12th. Watching English stand-up comedy and memes learning doesn't always have to be serious. Comedy is a great way to improve your English. Watching stand-up comedy and funny English memes helped me understand humor, slang, and cultural references. How it helped me? I learned informal English and everyday expressions. I improved my listening skills by following fast speech. It made learning fun and enjoyable. What to do? Watch comedians like Trevor Noah, Kevin Hart, or British comedians like Michael McIntyre. Follow meme pages that use English humor. Try explaining a meme in English to someone else. It's a great way to test your understanding. Bonus tip: if a joke or meme confuses you, search for an explanation online. This will help you learn cultural nuances. 13. Using YouTube's CC, subtitles, and auto-translate feature YouTube has become one of my biggest learning tools. The closed caption CC feature and auto-translate option help me understand difficult words and pronunciation. How it helped me? I could read along while listening to native speakers. I understood fast speech better. I learned the spelling of new words. What to do? Watch English videos with subtitles on CC button. First, watch with subtitles. Then try without them to test your understanding. If a video is not in English, use auto-translate to see English subtitles. Bonus tip: write down 5 new words from each video and try using them in your own sentences. 14. Using LinkedIn and professional platforms in English. If you're learning English for work or career purposes, professional social media platforms like LinkedIn can help you practice business English. How it helped me? I learned how professionals write and communicate in English. I improved my formal writing skills. I got confidence in writing emails and messages in English. What to do? Create a LinkedIn profile and write your bio in English. Follow professionals who post in English and read their content. Comment on posts in English using professional language. Bonus tip: try writing a short professional post in English once a month. Even a small step makes a big difference. 15. Using Pinterest for English vocabulary and phrases. Pinterest is a great platform for finding infographics, vocabulary lists, and grammar tips in a visual format. How it helped me. I found and saved thousands of useful English tips. It made learning more visual and easier to remember. I discovered daily phrases and idioms. What to do. Search for English learning tips or common English phrases on Pinterest. Create a board and save useful posts. Try to use a new word or phrase from Pinterest every day. Bonus tip. Follow accounts that post daily English challenges to keep yourself engaged. Extra strategies to supercharge your learning. 16. Follow native speakers and mimic their content. One of the fastest ways to improve your fluency is by imitating native speakers. On platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, there are thousands of content creators who speak naturally and use real-life English expressions. How it helped me. I learned how native speakers pronounce words, pause, and emphasize certain phrases. I picked up natural expressions that I wouldn't find in textbooks. I got comfortable speaking in a natural tone instead of sounding robotic. What to do. Follow native English speakers, especially vloggers, educators, or podcasters. Listen to how they introduce topics and how they transition between sentences. Record yourself mimicking their style and compare your pronunciation. Bonus tip. Use apps like Speechling or Elsa. Speak to compare your pronunciation with native speakers. 17. Create your own English blog or vlog. If you want to push yourself even further, start a blog or vlog in English. Writing or speaking regularly in English will dramatically boost your fluency. How it helped me. It forced me to think in English before writing or speaking. It built my confidence in expressing ideas. It helped me get feedback from others on my mistakes. What to do. Start a small blog on platforms like Medium, WordPress, or Tumblr. If you prefer speaking, start a YouTube channel or TikTok account where you talk about your daily life in English. Share your posts, jot videos on social media, and ask for feedback. Bonus tip. Start by writing or recording short entries about topics you love. For example, 5 things I learned today, or my daily routine. 18. Use Twitter, X. To practice concise writing. Twitter, now known as X, is great for practicing short, impactful writing. Since posts have a character limit, you have to be clear and concise. How it helped me? I learned to write clearly and directly. I practiced summarizing ideas in a few words. I engaged with native speakers in real time. What to do? Follow English learners, teachers, and native speakers. Try summarizing your thoughts in a single tweet, 280 characters. Participate in Twitter discussions and threads. Bonus tip. Join trending discussions using hashtags like #NumberLearnEnglish or #EnglishTips to connect with others. 19th. Challenge yourself with social media trends. Trends on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter change every week, and many of them involve word challenges, storytelling, or debates. How it helped me. It kept learning exciting and fun. It helped me learn modern slang and phrases. It gave me a chance to interact with real people. What to do? Join challenges like describe your day in 3 words or explain a movie plot badly. Create content that follows popular trends, but in English. Engage with other learners by commenting and sharing posts. Bonus tip. Follow accounts that regularly post word games, brain teasers, and English puzzles. Common mistakes to avoid when using social media to learn English. While social media is a powerful tool, many learners make common mistakes that slow down their progress. Let's go over what to avoid and how to fix these mistakes. 1. Only consuming content. Instead of engaging, many learners just watch videos and read posts, but don't practice writing or speaking. Fix. Make it a habit to comment, post, and reply to messages in English. 2. Using only one social media platform, some learners only use YouTube or Instagram, missing out on other platforms that offer different learning experiences. Fix. Try using a mix of platforms like Twitter for writing, Instagram for speaking, and Reddit for discussions. 3. Ignoring pronunciation and speaking practice. Some learners only read and write, but never practice speaking aloud. Fix. Use voice messages, record yourself, and join live discussions. 4. Relying too much on auto-translate. Many learners copy-paste sentences from translators without actually understanding them. Fix. If you use a translator, always check the meaning of new words and practice using them.